Hey everyone, it is Robyn Ellis, otherwise known as Inspired Robyn, and I'm popping in for my first podcast of the season of 2026 at the end of this energy of the wood snake. It is Thursday, the 5th of February, 2026. Rather than me waffle on about myself, I'm going to bring in Archangel Jophiel through Angelic Celestial Colours card. That's spray for beauty and wisdom. And I'm called to do a card reading for the current energies from the secret language of animals, as I once did a while back from the book by Chip Richards, the Oracle cards, and see what wisdom of the animals, with the assistance of wisdom and beauty from Archangel Jophiel, that we have to bring in today. Oh, it's been a while. So we have the Albatross, faith, endurance, journey, and hope. And this is very much how I've been finding the energy this week. Card number 23. And as I've always done in the past, I'm going to read the guidance that comes through here on this particular card. I wake with a dream of a distant shore calling me. I know not why or for how long, but I know it is calling me. I know it is further than I can see. It may even be further than I imagine it to be. And yet it calls to me. I know I must answer. I know I must begin. For deep inside, I know that the voice that is calling me to that distant shore is my own. I am Albatross. Albatross is the largest of the flying bird family with a wingspan of 11 feet. They spend over 80% of their life at sea, much of the time in flight. While their journeys call for levels of endurance that few in the animal kingdom must endure, in truth, this is what Albatross was built for, with a wing shape especially designed to travel long distances and endowed with specialized gliding techniques that minimize the need for flapping. Albatross can soar on virtually motionless wings for hours at a time. Because of this, seamen long believed that Albatross had magical powers, bringing good omens to those who cross its path in peace. Their flying technique is so efficient, in fact, that they spend more energy landing and taking off than when they are in the air. Very much like creating a business for yourself and getting it started and having to restart and fall down and restart again. Albatrosses breed on remote islands with large colonies of others. Males and females come together after ritual mating dances, and once their bond is formed, they stay together for the rest of their lives. Over the course of their 60-year lifespan, their journeys will cover millions of miles. The message. Albatross glides to you upon the ocean breeze, bringing renewed hope and the promise of good fortune for the path ahead. It takes courage to set out on a journey of any kind, and Albatross knows that sometimes we must travel far beyond the shores of our comfort zone before we catch a glimpse of our aspired destination. When the nights are long and dark, when the wind appears to push against your passage, it can be easy to question the calling that brought you to this path in the first place. It is in these times when our doubt is most justified that we are called to keep our faith and courage alive and honour ourselves for the sacred nature of our journey. Albatross's message is to look beyond the wave of current circumstance and smile at the light that is emerging on the horizon. If your current life is stretching you to reach to new horizons, inside yourself or in the world, Albatross comes to encourage you to make the leap and trust yourself and the secret winds that guide you. There's no need to flap your wings and fight against the storm. Breathe deep instead and rise above. You were designed for this great journey. You're wiser than you know, and you're honoured by the spirit of the sky. There's no hurry. There's no pressure. There's no wrong way to go. Trust with courage your deeper calling. Embrace the vistas of the new day before you, and know that your path is unfolding in just the right way. The journey will take as long as it takes, and when you arrive to the distant shores of who you are becoming, you will recognise the magic perfection of each and every moment, sunrise, raindrop, and breath along the way. I trust the calling of my spirit and soar beyond what once seemed possible. My life is a great and epic journey. I am faith in motion. My goodness, again, so much of needing to have faith and trust has been the message recently. And all last year and all the other messages that I've ever pulled in the energies probably in the last few years, it has been very much that. Calling Archangel Jophiel again. Let's spray her this energy again. I'm getting like a bit of divine feminine with masculine coming through with this particular channel today. Because I have been doing the dance between, am I on the right path? Am I meant to stay in this path of being and doing healings, to trust that it will come and it will happen? Because, you know, there's been times when all of a sudden the phone's rung and people have come for healing sessions. But there's been lots of path and time where there's been crickets or cicadas, is the instance of my backyard. There's been times for me where it's like, oh, get a job, get back on the horse, get a job. And I'm making some calls. I've applied for jobs and got rejections or crickets, much like being in this business of healing. But then I've not been wanting to market and create content and put myself out there because I just don't have, I've had a lot of self-work that I've needed to do. It's been hard for all of us in a lot of respects, depending, in whatever fashion hard it is for you in these past days, weeks, months of shedding our final skins, of clearing ourselves. I cut my hair this week. It had grown down to here. And I decided, no, I'm too hot. It's too hot. Perimenopause, my goodness. To have long hair, and I don't like how my hair looks when I tie it all up. So I went back to shoulder length bob, and I'm happy with that. And it felt liberating to cut away all. It's kind of like when you get a haircut, you cut off all of those things that you've been working through in that time that it took to grow that length of hair. For me, that's how it works. And like I had short hair for so long, I'd have regular haircuts, and it was a thing to release energy for me, just like yoga was. And I hadn't been to yoga for a while, and I went this weekend, and my goodness, it brought up some stuff. It showed me things that I have stuck in my body energy and emotional energy that I'm working through. Whew, head spinning. So you're not alone. This is the message I'm getting. You're not alone. Stay true to your path. Stay connected to the work that you're doing. I created a meditation in this book, Diana Cooper 2012 and beyond. I read it recently. It's been one of the many texts that I've read through recently, and there's a lot of actions and activities and guidance in this. And it's a bit of an educational meditation guide, like activation with the archangels, using the crystal bowls behind me for the frequency of each chakra. And it is a tool that I'm using daily at the moment to clear my channel, to connect me to the archangels, to my guidance, to bring me back to my spiritual side, to balance me and my energy. In saying that, it has been also like helping, but you know, might not think it's helping, but it is, to bring through some of the challenging stuff that we're all working through at the moment as we come to the end of this Chinese New Year of the wood snake, so that we're prepared for the fast energies of the fire horse. It's also like showing me the things that I have been needing to clear out of my system. And it's also like wanted me to get help, but I'm like still in the throes of the things that are my things that I'm dealing with personally as a soul being, to work through, to clear me on my own, in my own life and energy. My goodness. And it had me like really taking it out on my closest people in my world yesterday, because I was just in a mess. I let myself get into a mess. And I think I had to see that, experience it, feel it, to really know, and this is why things happen, to really know what I'm working through and why I need to change, why I need to clear it out, why I need to understand it too. Because sometimes our shadow side, and I've said this in other podcasts and readings, our shadow side is there as a teacher to help us in Earth School to overcome things that we as a soul decided that we needed to clear this time. Which brings me to the other audiobook I'd been listening to, Dolores Cannon, and it was like about her journey as with her husband, late husband, as a hypnosis regression therapist, and going into past lives and seeing like some of the journeys that we go on in that, and how it can relate to what we've chosen to do in the current time on Earth. And it's really got, like, I have had a very, very much a aversion to past life regression from when I did Master Teacher with Reiki. I did not enjoy that part of the process. I did not enjoy doing past life regression. And if anyone's had a healing session with me, you'll know if past life comes up, we just feel the energy of it. We feel we tap into the emotions. I bring them up to trigger out whatever the feelings are there, or the emotions, or the body aches and pains, and I prefer to do it that way. And that also led me to another book, which was about the body. Like, I've been listening or doing a lot of the body work. So Secret Life of Wellness, Inna Segal, I've been reading this. There's some processes in here. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still studying deeper. And as you know, I use her Secret Language of the Body book in my healing sessions to trigger the emotions in the particular body parts that I'm feeling the energy of when I'm doing a healing session. And I've had a lot of challenge in my body, as an example, but also when I'm working with clients as well. Not a challenge like, because I love when I'm working with clients, I can feel it and I can like experience it, and I know that it's shifting. And the whole, I'll label the audiobooks that I listen to on Spotify audio at the bottom in the show notes for this podcast, and also in my blog. However, because I can't think of them off the top of my head, they were really confirming to me the work that I do and the channel that I get from my guides like Archangel Jophiel. When I'm working with the body and the energy, I've been toying with the fact that, or doubting, or having negative Nancy voice or Debbie Downer in my head telling me you suck, which has been, tell me in the comments below if you're seeing this, if you can relate in the energies lately, has been something that's been dominating me occasionally, and I'm not catching it in time before I get into the depths of the shadow of that. But what I'm learning, and I've been learning through the experience in the past weeks in this new year, as I'm clearing these layers for myself, and also when I've facilitated for other clients who I've sent home and sent them homework that they're working through this stuff on their own, the actual guided meditation ascension work that I've created in an audio has it does bring up the clarity to work through some of that. And you do need to understand that you're going to have some moments where you start crying for no reason. It's the same with the energies at the moment. You start crying for no reason. You're not quite sure why. Your nervous system's whoa, fired up. If you're like me and you feel in your body and you've been gifted your gift via a chronic condition like I was, you may notice it really activated. I've been going to Pilates, Reformer Pilates, and yesterday's class, my goodness, it really did trigger me in some aspects because I found it a struggle with certain parts of the routine that we were doing, and the muscle groups. It was getting into that fascia, those muscles that are really small within the body, and really getting them to work. And we're already getting them to work with the energies at the moment. So it was very oh, what's that about kind of energy. So just understand that you may be feeling that at the moment and dissolving it and dissipating it and acknowledging it and looking at it quite strongly. And working with a therapist is a good thing to do to help you through as well as, but a lot of it you will find is just in your daily life, stuff that you can, that's what I need to do now. That's what I need to change about how I work my life, how I nurture myself. I might need to rest. I might need the space to just sit and put my feet up and have a cry and distract my brain, or work out routines of nourishment for me that help me feel regulated. And as I'm hearing too, it might be a change of career path that we're going through as well. And I'm not sure on whether I'm still going to be doing healings, although it hurts, it feels yucky in my being to say that, because I know I have a gift here that's worth sharing and worth doing more with. And there's a lot of tools that I want to grow in my pocket to help people through clearing this. And I know just through the clients that I've had in the past month how valuable the work that I do is, even though it's sending them home with more stuff to work through. And I think part of my reluctance has been that it's strong what comes through, and it's confronting in some instances, and it's not always, you come and you think, oh, I'm going to come and feel bliss and wonderful, and yes you do clear and find clarity, But in the energies at the moment, it is a lot of stuff that is coming up to the surface to be healed. And sometimes the process of healing that is uncomfortable and yuck and detoxy and not ease and joy to work through, but it's why our soul came here, and it's getting to the bottom of it. And once you do work through that, then you're on the home front stretch of new earth, love and light kind of energy, I think, or finding your gift that you're here to do that is going to help the world in some way. Anyway, enough with that. It's just about we're on an endurance race at the moment. We're on a journey, and we need to hold hope and faith that that journey is a good place to be. It is going somewhere positive. It is as ugly and yucky as the work is right now. That's pretty much where we're at. Now, I've also been guided to bring in Archangel Jophiel, loving service and light. Because on that note, I feel like a lot of what we're working through is helping us to find who we are in service to ourselves, to the planet, to humanity, to our soul. Archangel Jophiel of 100% pure divine light. Just sending whatever it is for you right now. And I'm getting like it might be a purging cry fest at the moment. And so it is, and so it shall be, as part of our clearing and getting out into nature, which is part of my homework today. Connecting with the trees and the animals. We pulled an animal card already. I've also got Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell. So I'm going to pull one for us in this energy as well. As part of it, we've got boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And I'm hearing it could be with negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, that voice in your head. Another one that's coming in, social media. We're on it now, watching this. But how we interpret that. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Sit with that. It's on page 44 in this guidebook, the message. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? You are being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family, or work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first, it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal, but before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you are left feeling depleted, resentful, or taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they're able to give unconditionally. When your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand and you're able to give freely. If you are not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion, resentment, and energetic cords to be planted. If you're saying yes when you really mean no, you're likely needing something yourself. Ask yourself, what part of me needs something from them? It could be a need for approval, a fear of being seen, or a certain way of, or a fear of loss. So a fear of being seen a certain way or a fear of loss. The best way to gauge your boundaries is to check in with your belly. Your belly is a second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. Tune into this space when deciding what is okay for you. How does it feel? What is it trying to communicate with you? Work your light inquiry. Where in your life do you need to establish better boundaries? I'm blocking something there. Woo! We know that. That was boundaries with throat chakra, it felt. And the image, it's like this. And there's all these hands reaching down on the energy. I'm just sitting with this energy and this message. I think, and I'm feeling like there's a boundary thing with what I've talked about with the work, the energetic work, like spirits coming in. We can say, not today, not today. Placing, and I've talked about this in other podcasts, a wall of mirrors around us to reflect back to those who are trying to sap us of our light and energy and our own personal journeys. Boundaries with our time and what we're using our time for. That's what also is coming through. And I'm looking at a clock right now. Boundaries with what we're consuming food-wise, like being very discerning on what we're eating, because the food we eat sometimes can affect how we're feeling. And like I said before, boundaries with the headspace, the mind fuck, excuse language, that goes on. Like learning to talk to the hand, deflect that, because it's not, if it's not of a kind way, and this is especially for Robyn, but you might relate, if it's not of a kind voice to yourself, then it's not for you, your soul speak. It's not who you are. So, and the cicadas are like arcing up on this. It is not who you are. So why are you listening to it? It's a repeating message that I've been getting, and it's one that you might relate to as well. That's why I'm being told to bring it up. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. If you are seeking some help, some guidance on the side, you've got body stuff going on in particular, or emotional stuff, you know I'm here. I can do clearings to help you get clarity, to help you confront the stuff that you're working through as well. As you can see, I'm doing my own work as it is. So it doesn't stop, no matter how often or how long you've been doing this for. Cicadas. Woo! Yeah. The other thing I want to mention too before I go is the ring in the ears thing. Something I learnt in the audiobook that I listened to. You know, sometimes we get ringing in the ears, and it's our guides wanting to talk to us at times. It can be part of the upgrades. Think about what's going on in the world, in your world at the time that it starts to happen and start annoying you. What are you listening to? What are you tuning into? What's going on? Like yesterday I practiced with this, and this was a clue in the book, and I changed the song on the radio because it was too low a vibration for where I was at the time. So I needed to have a more high vibration lyric in my ear. So I just flicked until I found a song that was more of a high vibe and more where I was at right now. So it's a discernment and an understanding of what things are lowering your vibe. And if you can adjust the dial to do that, that's that is kind of a boundary. It's setting a boundary. It's setting an intention of that's not for me right now. Turning it off is a good thing. We can change the dial. We can change the station that we're on. It's like turning off the news. It's like turning off your social media and taking a break, going out into the garden and pulling some weeds to clear your headspace. That's all the kind of things that are part of your boundaries. Like it's like saying no to whatever you're thinking or feeling or experiencing at that time. Because yes, we do the shadow work. Yes, we have stuff that we're working through. But at the moment, taking away that negative word of but, at the moment, we are wanting to practice being higher vibe in our own bubbles, but in the collective world that we're in. And by learning the little techniques of shifting out of it, by recognizing your ears are ringing. What's going on? What's the message? And because we're wanting to understand what our higher self, what our intuition and our gut is telling us, we want to hear that more. So we need to be setting boundaries around the stuff that is stopping us from being in that zone. And part of that is learning to pivot. I don't wear dragonfly earrings for nothing. Butterfly earrings, whatever. They're dragonflies. Where we can be changeable with the energies and we can snap out of it. Yesterday I struggled to snap out of it. I sat in it and it was yuck. And it took stuff from people in my life that I love with all my heart. And I was being an ass to myself. Totally an ass to myself. I got scratched by my cat. I was being that much of an ass. That didn't tell me. Well, it did, but it took getting that yucky stabbing or, slicing of the cat claws to have me, whoa, okay, hello, ooh, I'm in a bad space. I need to pivot. And it can be pivoting out of stuff in our life that we're acting arcing up at. That's negative. Headspace. Clear that trigger. So we need to get better at self-soothing, self-managing, boundarying our moods, regardless of the hormones, regardless of the realities of life, slamming doors in our face, making us feel small, making us feel shut down. Because getting back up again and learning to shift the frequency for ourselves is important at this point in time. It's important to learn that skill. Even me, I need to learn the skill. Part of the chronic condition that we can have is going into the depths of the pain often because it's there and we know it's there, and we do a very good job of masking it, masking the symptoms. But by doing so, and this is the other thing I learned from a lot of the things that I've been reading up about, by doing so, yes, acknowledge it, recognize it, but also by doing so, we've got to give our bodies and our energy the space to heal itself. And we're not going to heal ourselves by dwelling in the depths of despair and depths of the pain and complaining about it, which I'm so good at, or being pity parties and victims to it. We need to rise up. We need to learn to rise up in it and to find a way through. And part of my doing that is the ascension thing that I'm doing daily to help me to clear my channels and connect with the archangels and my chakras and rebalance my chakras and activate them to be in a good place, to be cleared every day at the moment, so that I can be more consciously aware of these triggers and learning consciously to trigger pivot, if you know what I mean. Pivot from the trigger, to learn to be in Earth School and learn how to change the frequency of that feeling so that I can give my body and my energy the best environment possible to heal itself. And I don't know, maybe I'm being called to get a day job for a reason, so that I can relate better to where most of us are at. Not everyone's, but then again, not everyone wants to run a business. And yeah. On that note too, I've reopened my pet sitting. So if you're in the Budrum area, Sunshine Coast, and you're looking for a pet sitter and you're not sure where to go, I'm on Paw Shake. So go to Paw Shake, sign up on the app and look for me. I'm in there again, live, back online, because I do need to diversify, because it has been, and maybe it won't be soon, who knows, it has been crickets a lot of weeks in here, and I've needed to just be working on myself, obviously. But I want to be, doing what I'm here to do and running a business that actually profits, not it's in the red all the time. So I want your business, and I want to be helping you work through the layers, and I want to be, taking you through the depths and then bringing you through and helping you pivot in your life in a good way and heal your bodies. Because us healers, we are helping you heal, and we are facilitating your self-healing as well at the same time. So I need people to help me clear layers so that I can continue to do what I do as well. I'm not just doing it all by myself. And I'm also calling in the angels. Also too, I want to offer, if you do want a copy of my channel, it's a Diana Cooper process, which she has online in segments, but I've added in these bowls and these sprays to really soup up the energy of it. I'm not going to put it out there yet, just out in the ethers. I will send it to you to your phone one-to-one. So reach out to me as a message if you would like that. I'm on inspiredrobyn.com and on socials here at Inspired Robyn. So look for me there. Like and subscribe to this. Help it be shared. Help me be shared and grow my channel. And I will see you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next week, next month, whenever it is. I will be definitely next month. But you never know, I might get inspired for next week as well. I'll see you soon. Bye.